It's always a pleasure to have our final guest in the studio. 6th District Representative Tim Remley joins us next.
We want to welcome Representative Tim Remley back to the studio. This is a busy time of year for them, and we're glad you're taking a few minutes of your time to come and talk with us and give us an update on what's going on. So thank you and welcome.
It's always a pleasure to come up and talk over issues with you and let the people see what's going on and hear about it firsthand.
Yeah, well, one of the topics that we want to talk about is real IDs, the driver's license, and having that our driver's license are not working at the airports, and we're going to have to get passports in Missouri. That's a huge deal and a real big problem?
Yeah, it is, especially for those that travel a lot, and so that's the way it was. And the government, the federal government, told us this is the way it was going to be. And so anyway, they actually gave us an extension now. So we're going to have an extension till 2018, January 22nd of 2018. So it's been extended, but we're going to have to come up with a plan or something to comply, or and it's going to take a while to do that. We had the Department of Revenue in our office in committee. And, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. And, in 2009, the legislature passed legislation that became law that we won't comply with the Real ID Act because we didn't know what all the information they were going to, and what they're going to do with it.
So we have an extension so that we can now comply with the Real ID Act, so we will not have to use passports, or
this is the way it is. It's right now we can use our regular driver's license for 2 years, but we're going to have to change the law that was put in effect in 2009 to some degree, and or if we may have an option. Some people may not want to give all that information for the federal government, so they can still use their passport, and they just have to have that form of ID. And those that want to comply and not have to worry about just use their driver's license, they could have that option of giving that information to the federal government.
Oh, okay. So it's a matter of what information you want to provide at the time when you renew your driver's license.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So, and we're going to be working on that. That's just kind of letting the people know that our driver's licenses are acceptable till 2018.
Okay. Well, that is news. So let's talk about the wastewater regulations. You've got lots of things going on with that.
Yeah, we're seeing it clear across our state and actually across the nation right now that the EPA has put more stringent regulations on wastewater treatment, on lagoons and all wastewater. So I've done a lot of research over the last year. Been in a lot of meetings with the DNR, and also we found about a company that is based out of Kansas City, Kansas, and we just been working with them, and they have a method of biological method of meeting the standards, and it's a lot less cost effective. It's just so much better on cost. The mechanical side of it, we're seeing by the time you get an engineer to come in and make up plans and do everything, we're looking at millions of dollars for a small community, hundreds of thousands of dollars for just small, very small rural communities, which they don't have the money or the resources, and so the DNR through the USDA has a lot of loan options for them to go to, and even with loan options, though, it's putting the burden on the people. So. I'm going to give an example. One community is looking at a $3 million project, and this company can come in and analyze and do it biologically for around $20,000 to $25,000 and a year. And so it's a good option. And the bill requires the DNR to allow that option to be one of them in the process.
Well, so there's a lot going on with that, and you're having a tour of the Poet plant. Is that something that's going on in February?
Yeah, we actually have opened that up to the legislators, and we like to promote agriculture in the rural areas, and ag is still the number one industry, and ethanol has become a big part of a lot of corn farmers, and grain farmers, and so a lot of some people in the legislature, they're always from the urban areas, and so we're offering that tour to some of the agriculture committees, but also we're opening it up to some of the other legislators in the rural areas to be able to come up and tour the Poet plant, and then also get a sight of the rural area.
Well, it'll be a great experience for them.
Yeah, it really was, and I've taken a tour of the Poet plant, and it's state of the art. It's one of the most successful plants, and so it's something to be very proud of in our Macon area that we have that here.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Well, moving on, you've been back in session about 2-3 weeks now. So, and budgets are a big thing, and you'll be dealing with higher education and the A+ program. What's going on with those?
Well, the A+ program is such an important part of the rural area, and it's a good jump start for high school students that have worked through those years, and A+ is we funded it more last year than it had been, but we'd like to see that fully funded this year, and so we're working on some of that, and with everything that's happened at the University of Missouri, we're really analyzing their budget, and we're hoping to maybe cut some things there that maybe need to be cut, and then help out our junior colleges and in our rural areas, because junior colleges, they actually they really do, they educate about 40% of our students, and with the A+ program, it just works so well, and then also we like to fund vocational a little more than. Those are some things we're going to be working on. There's a lot in that budget, and everyone wants their part. So education is a very critical part of it, though, and we want to fund it in a really good way.
Is there anything else about Mizzou that we need to talk about? Other things going on?
Well, we could talk a long time about that. We have talked to the University of Missouri. We've had different ones from the. I've been in meetings, 2 or 3 meetings already with Missouri lobbyists. Plus, we actually had a meeting with the president one day, and the interim president here, and they're trying to deal with the problems that people are concerned all over the state, and they're trying to deal with some of that with what happened with the football team as well. Some of those things they said it's being handled. So we'll see and then some of the people are really calling for, like to see the teacher resign. Some of those that, they acted in a way that was not suitable and wasn't really appropriate. And so, there's some actions that can be interesting how they'll play out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So time will tell on that.
That's right, and a lot of donors, are very concerned about what's going on at the college as well.
Well, guess we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and so football is a big deal right now with the Super Bowl coming down the road, but the Rams have left the state.
Well, yeah, it's really, when you really think about it, it's really not that much surprising.
No.
I mean, the sad part of that was there's going to be this still costs us $16 million, and that's a lot of money. And by the time we pay the lawyers, and that was according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
It still cost us $16 million, and they still left.
But between the architects and the lawyers and that's I never thought Kroenke was wanting to stay in St. Louis, and many didn't think he was either, and he jumped at the first chance he got, and so going forward, we have not paid for the existing dome right now, and to ask the taxpayers to pay for another stadium, I thought was not a good thing. I thought, if anything, it should have been voted on by the people of the state rather than just shoved at the people. And so hopefully we've learned a lesson from this. And I don't think we're going to be seeing a stadium pushed anytime soon.
Right.
Again.
Do you think another team might come in?
Yeah, I think there can be some upgrades to the existing if that's what they want to do. But to go and spend that amount of money on a new stadium, I just don't think it was the thing to do. And I don't think the taxpayers, I've had very, very few people tell me that's what we needed to do for our state.
It benefits, maybe one area, a large area, but not it doesn't benefit the whole state.
Yeah, and that's right. And the taxpayers were going to be put on another burden with taxes. And, it just wasn't a thing that I was in favor for, and I know that there was other legislators that were against it as well.
Well, can you give us an update on the VA hospital in Marceline? Has there been any votes or any movement on that?
I have been in a lot of discussion with the Veterans Committee. I've had a meeting with the chairman and the vice chair of the veterans, and right now we're falling behind on the funding actually getting into the veterans where we want it to be, because we have some existing homes that needs to be upgraded, and unless the federal government and talking to one of the chairmans of the veterans, they just said, we've given different great scenarios, even to where we give property to the veterans, and he said the veterans in the Washington just don't seem to be interested in it right now, and so Marceline, I really pushed that quite a bit, because I think it's just a great fit for our rural community. We lack something up here in rural Missouri, so I'll continue to work on it. But right now, I wish I had better encouraging news. But that's one of the things I told some of the officials over there in the city, that I was actually really going to work on finding out what our real chances are. And because I just soon know right up front, I don't like any, just don't lead me on, just tell me where we're at. And unless the federal government steps in and really shows more interest, there's just not the money available right now to moving forward. But we're going to keep working on it, though, because I've taken a tour of it. I've taken another representative over there. Another representative wants to go over there that's involved in veterans, and he wants to tour the hospital. So, it's Lyndall Shoemate, Representative Shoemate, and he's actually working on a bond issue for veterans, and we passed it last year in the House, which would give more money for veterans. And actually, I think that's got a good chance to make it across the finish line this year. And whether they get that bond done is another thing, but at least we're starting that process, and hopefully something can be done.
That sounds good. And you want to talk about the presidential executive order?
Oh yeah, I filed a bill that different ones have asked me about, and that is it's any presidential executive order or presidential memorandum that is constitutional to the Constitution, to the U.S. or the Missouri Constitution, that no state agency in the state of Missouri would comply with that, as long as we know it is unconstitutional. And it's a very interesting bill. We've had a lot of comments. I've had different news networks call me about it. But and really, when you really think about it, some of the comments I've got, some of if we would deem some of these unconstitutional, that we would not be able to get some of the federal funding because it's all tied to getting along with doing what the feds tell us to do. But really, when you really look at that, I've taken an oath, just like everyone else, to uphold the U.S. Constitution and the Missouri Constitution. So, they're holding this money and saying, if you don't comply with this, but if it's unconstitutional, we should not have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give you an example. Like the waters of the U.S., the Supreme Court has already said that they have already overstepped their authority, the federal government. The EPA is a non-elected bureaucracy. I mean, they're still pushing rules and regulations that are affecting all of our communities and costing us millions and millions of dollars. And I'm doing a lot of research on a lot of this, and I'm finding, what we really would need is for Congress to step up and say, you can't do it. But see, the executive orders and memorandums is a way to go around Congress. But see, the president cannot make law, and he can't change law. And so that's what the bill's about, is if it is unconstitutional, and we can look at Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. We know what's constitutional there. We have the right to bear arms. Now, if a president, I don't care who president is, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, independent, what race, it's a matter of we have to protect the Constitution. Mm-hmm. We just can't let a president make a memorandum or a presidential executive order when it's unconstitutional. Just comply. And so this would regulate any state agency from carrying out something that is deemed to be unconstitutional. And it gives, that's where our Attorney General comes in, especially, because he can stand up and say, this is where our state's going to fight this, but this law would strengthen that authority. Mm-hmm. These are the things I feel, and we'll see where that goes.
Well, that's one thing about you. You stand up for what you believe in, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I take it serious because it's a serious thing. We're seeing encroachments that are really affecting all of us, and some of the things we're seeing in the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act that were brought about by memorandums and executive orders. Even what a lot of people don't realize, on November 22nd of 2014, the president made a memorandum that we accept any immigrants or refugees and fully integrating them into our communities and setting up communities that are accepting them. And if people want to come to this country, I don't have a problem with it as long as they come in the right way. But to see that we have immigration laws, and I've studied them, I've looked at them, and there's certain things you have to do to become a U.S. citizen. And through that, it's a matter of security and safety, and also it's just vetting these people, really looking at them, and to just for the president to just do a presidential order that we're going to fully integrate them. And a lot of these refugees, a lot of people don't realize, but we're social services is growing by 33% a year.
Wow.
Okay, now we're going to bring in refugees that fully integrating that's in that executive order or memorandum is stating that we'll fully integrate them, so they actually get full benefits of welfare and so it's just it's just a way that we've already seen in other countries where refugees have been accepted and terrorists actually came in posing as refugees, and some of these other countries have paid for that. Mm-hmm. So we have to really be careful on what we allow to come in.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's just a very busy time for you, and we appreciate this update, and we always appreciate hearing what you have to say.
Well, it's always a privilege to come in. I really thank you for the time, and and I enjoy talking with you all. And I know a lot of people watch CVTV, and it's a great asset to our area.
Well, thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate your coverage.
Sure. And we look forward to having you on again sometime soon. You can give us another update later on down the road. Oh, I wanted to ask you about the political campaigning and all that's going on right now. What's your take on that? Do you care to comment?
Well, you know, there's quite a bit into that. You know, there's the primary I think is coming down to probably 3 people on the Republican side, and actually, you know, I Trump and you know, Cruz and Rubio probably are the 3 on the Republican side, and you know, actually Bernie Sanders is actually catching Hillary coming up in the polls, and that's really something to think about there. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that some of the others need to start dropping out of the race on the Republican side, and but it's a very time in our country where we need to do a lot of praying, and I really mean that. And you know, we got a lot of things going on in our country, and you know, in the situation of the whole world, you know, we just need divine intervention would be a great thing, and I feel like we as a people, that's what our forefathers did, and that's what we need to do as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, on that note, thank you again for your time. We appreciate it, and we look
you're
forward
welcome.
to talking to you again soon.
All right, thank you again.
You're welcome. Thanks again, Representative Remley. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to visit with us about the topics getting a lot of attention right now.
Do you find yourself needing an internet connection when you're away from home or work? Well, mobile hotspots provide you an internet connection while on the road, at the coffee shop, or anywhere you're able to access our network. And while supplies last, we have a great offer to share with you.
If you sign up for a new 10 gigabit or higher plan or upgrade to a qualifying plan, receive a free MiFi device from Sheridan Valley. We'll waive your $20 monthly device fee for 2 years.
The MiFi is a great device, and this allows you to be able to talk on your phone and access data tethering capability. This device utilizes the same shared data plan as your smartphone, so no additional plans are required. You can stop in and find out how you can qualify for a free MiFi device while supplies last in any of our retail and agent locations. Go to cvalley.net to find your nearest location.
It's a really neat deal.
Yeah, it works out well, and like I said, it's a great device. It allows, you know, if you're trying to talk on the phone, use your computer, you can't usually do both of those functionalities if you just use your phone to tether. So this brings it, and it's also great to keep the kids quiet in the back of the car when you're going on a trip too.
Very nice. Well, Girls' Day Out is scheduled for this Saturday at Wadsworth Community Center in Marceline from 1 to 4. Round up your moms, sisters, girlfriends, and daughters of all ages for an afternoon of pure pampering and just being a girl.
Services offered for a fee by local salons include basic manicures, hairstyling, pedicures, facials, and chair massages. Have your glamour picture taken, craft activities for the younger kids, refreshments will be served, and product vendors including 31 bags, Scentsy, aromatherapy, and much more will be there as well.
Private pesticide applicator training is scheduled for February 9th in Macon. Farmers needing to obtain or renew their private pesticide applicator's license need to plan to attend. To register, call 660-385-2173.
Mark your calendar. Mid-Mo Young Guns Quail Forever chapter banquet is February 27th. The money raised takes local kids hunting and introduces them to the outdoors. Contact any member of the Mid-Mo Young Guns organization to get your tickets reserved.
Employers, let CVTV help you get the word out about job openings within your organization at no charge. Email your openings to the address on the screen.
Onshore Outsourcing is seeking applicants for an IT development boot camp instructor. If you have a burning desire to teach, apply today. For more information, contact Crystal Smith at 660-395-4242. Or to apply, submit your resume to crystal.smith@onshoreoutsourcing.com.
Sheridan Valley is looking for an IP network analyst at our Huntsville office, a retail wireless consultant at our Brookfield office, and a product marketing specialist to join our team here in Macon. Check out all the details at cvalley.net. Click on About Us, then Jobs.
Give the gift of life by donating blood. America Red Cross will be at the Missouri Department of Transportation in Macon on January 28th from 12 to 4 and at Keatsville High School on February 1st from 2 to 6:30.
Tune in to CVTV this week for Women in Ag, Suzette Bronner, keynote speaker, and Lauren Farmar, the Feisty Farmer, and Real Sports, Ned Rig Fishing. See these and many more of your favorite shows this week on CVTV.
You can check out our weekly lineup for a full listing at cvalley.net, and also check out CVTV's YouTube channel, CVTV22, for all your favorite CVTV programs.
Our quote this week comes from Winston Churchill, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's quoted saying, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts."
Well, that's great. Just kind of, it's easy to say pick up and move on, but those that do that, those actions are really the ones that are able to bring a lot. So great quote, as always, Donna. You do a great job bringing those to us every week.
Thank you. Well, and that's it for now for the Sheridan Valley Channel and Darren Elazaris. I'm Donna Bell, and we thank you for sharing a part of your day with us.
Stay tuned. Another CVTV program is coming up shortly.